Hello guys, here Minal Verma is ready with another video. So today we are going to deal with oral hypoglycemic drugs. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for the further notification. So let's start oral hypoglycemic drugs. These are the drugs which reduce the increased blood sugar levels, that is increased blood glucose levels. You know, insulin is given for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. Insulin is an injectable drug, so we need oral hypoglycemic drugs taken orally. So oral hypoglycemic drugs are given. There is a detailed description as well as classification in this video. So let's see the classification of hypoglycemic drugs. First, they enhance the insulin secretion. The class includes sulfonylureas, magnetinide, glucagon-like peptide receptor agonist, and DPP4 inhibitors. So the sulfonylureas have first generation tolbutamide, second generation glibenclamide, glipizide, glimepiride, and gliclazide. The magnetinide analogs include rapaglinide and nateglinide. The GLP-1 receptor agonists include exenatide and liraglutide. The DPP4 inhibitors include sitagliptin, vitagliptin, saxagliptin, alogliptin, and linagliptin. This class include all the gliptins. So you can remember by the way that gliptins class is they overcome the insulin resistance. So this class include biguanides and thiazolidinediones. Biguanides include AMPX activators, that is metformin, and thiazolidines include PPAR activators, that is pioglitazone. Next class is the miscellaneous class. So this includes 4 categories: alpha glucosidase inhibitors, amylin analogs, D2 receptor agonists, and sodium glucose cotransfer 2 inhibitors. So this includes acarbose, voglibos, and miglitol, pramlintide in amylin analog, and dopamine receptor agonists includes bromocriptine, and SGLT2 inhibitors include dapagliflozin. So let's see the detailed mechanism of action of all of these drugs. Let's see the mechanism of action of drugs which act by enhancing the insulin secretions. So this is a pancreatic beta cell in which there is a potassium ATP channel, a calcium channel, as well as a GPCR. So the sulfonylureas and magnetinides go and bind over this potassium ATP channel. So this is a ATP mediated channel. So when ATP is activated, the potassium gets inside the pancreatic beta cell and it has a sulfonylurea receptor over it. So these sulfonylureas and magnetinides goes and bound to this sulfonylurea receptor 1, due to which the ATP is not getting activated and the potassium stores inside the pancreatic beta cell decreases. So this decrease in the potassium store inside the pancreatic cell cause depolarization, and this depolarization causes the activation of the calcium channel, and the calcium stores inside the pancreatic beta cell increases, as well as the intracellular stores of calcium also increases, and this causes the release of insulin by binding of this insulin over the plasma membrane, and the release of insulin takes place. As well as the GLP-1 is acting by the own GPCR receptor. This GPCR is responsible for the various activity. As you can see in the previous lecture, I have already explained GPCR. So in this I will explain briefly that on the activation of GLP-1 GPCR, they cause the activation of alpha subunit, that is they promote the stimulating alpha subunit activation. This cause the stimulation of GS alpha by binding of GTP over adenyl cyclase, and this adenyl cyclase cause the conversion of ATP to cyclic AMP, that is the secondary messenger is activated, and this cause the release of insulin from the pancreatic beta cells. So the anatide and liraglutide are acting by this mechanism, as well as this GLP-1 are inactivated by the DPP4. So this DPP4 converts the GLP-1 into inactive peptide. Therefore DPP4 inhibitors, that is sitagliptin, vitagliptin, and all the gliptins are given in order to inhibit the conversion of GLP-1 to inactive peptide. Therefore, this GLP-1 remains active and this GPCR remains active, and the release of insulin remains active. So this was all about the drugs mechanism of action which act by enhancing the insulin secretion. So let's see the another class, that is which overcome the insulin resistance, that is bioguanides and thiazolidinediones. So the bioguanides class includes metformin. This metformin activates the AMP dependent protein kinase. This protein kinase is responsible for various activities. So metformin is also considered the first choice of drugs for diabetes mellitus. So let's see the function of metformin. They basically suppress the hepatic gluconeogenesis, that is no glucose formation takes place, as well as glucose output from the liver also is decreased. They enhance the fatty acid oxidation, enhance the insulin mediated glucose uptake and disposal in the skeletal muscles. So the insulin is now disposed in the skeletal muscles, and they also reduce the lipogenesis in adipose tissue, that is no lipid formation takes place in the adipose tissue, as well as they cause the peripheral glucose utilization through the anaerobic glycolysis, that is the glucose which is generated by the glycolysis process is utilized by the body by the anaerobic glycolysis, and the energy which is generated by this anaerobic glycolysis is consumed. So thiazolidinediones. So these thiazolidinediones are pioglitazone and rosiglitazone. So rosiglitazone is banned in India and is agonist of nuclear peroxisome proliferator activated receptor gamma. So this receptor, that is PPAR receptor, is responsible for enhancing the transcription of insulin responsive genes. When these genes are activated, they cause GLUT4 expression and translocation. So this GLUT4 is responsible for the entry of glucose in the muscle fat. The glucose is entered in the muscles, the levels of glucose in the blood decreases, as well as they are responsive for fat improvement and metabolism and cause lipogenesis. PAR is also present at various other sites. This is the HDL level, that is high density lipoprotein level in the blood, as well as it decreases the TG level, that is triglyceride level. So when HDL level increases, that is a good cholesterol in the body increases. So this drug is also highly used. But the drug has disadvantage that it is contraindicated in liver diseases and CHF, that is congestive heart failure. It cannot be given as agarpos and voglibos, that is alpha glucosidase inhibitors class. So these drugs act by inhibiting the alpha glucosidase enzyme. So this enzyme is basically responsible for the digestion of carbohydrates. So if the digestion of carbohydrates would not take place, then the digestion will decrease of carbohydrates, as well as the absorption of polysaccharide will also decrease, due to which the starch and sucrose would not be absorbed by the body. And they also promotes the GLP-1 release. So GLP-1, as you know, responsible for the release of insulin secretion. So when GLP-1 release enhanced, then insulin secretion from the body is also enhanced by the beta pancreatic cells, as well as this starch and glucose would not be absorbed, then no blood glucose rise will take place. Category is amylin analogs. Amylin is basically beta cells, and it goes and act in the brain. It causes the reduction in the release of glucagon from the alpha cells, as well as it delays the gastric emptying, and also retards the glucose absorption and promotes the satiety. So if glucagon will not be present, then glucose level will also not increase in the body. So when amylin analogs are given, it acts through the brain, and all these functions are being done. Next category is bromocriptine. So bromocriptine is a dopamine D2 receptor agonist. So it acts on the hypothalamic dopamine D2 receptor and cause for circadian rhythm of the hormone release, that is it causes TH prolactin ACTH release for the release of growth hormone, prolactin hormone and ACTH release, as well as it causes the reduction of insulin resistance. Since insulin resistance would not is dapagliflozin, so this dapagliflozin comes under the category of SGLT2 inhibitors. So what is SGLT2? As this is with the glomerulus Bowman's capsule, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT and collecting duct. So maximum of the glucose which is filtered from the glomerulus pass to the PCT, and here it is reabsorbed by the PCT by the receptors, that is SGLT2 transporters. These are the sodium glucose co-transporter 2. So they are responsive for the transport of glucose and reabsorption of glucose from this PCT part. When dapagliflozin is given, they cause inhibition of this. As so, the glucose which is filtered from this glomerulus passes onto the loop of Ehrlich-Danlos and then to the collecting duct and secreted into the urine. So it produces the glucosuria and reduce the blood glucose level by the excretion of glucose from the body. We have completed all the detailed mechanism of all the drugs for oral hypoglycemic activity. So let's see some of the questions which could be asked on the competition exam basis. So the drug for postprandial hyperglycemia action. So the drug could be rapaglinide and nataglinide. This drug can be given from maglitinide category, but they cannot be given in a liver disease. So for that, agarbose is given. The agarbose is a drug which is given just before meals, and rapaglinide and nataglinide are the drugs that are given 10 to 30 minutes before the meals. So the next question is, which cannot be given in nursing mothers? So that is sulfonylureas, because they are secreted in the milk. Next is GPCR on pancreatic beta cell and alpha cell, that is glucagon-like peptide 1 receptors. So these are the GPCR receptors as we have seen in the mechanism of action, and they are type of incretin. GLP-1 is incretin released from the gut in response to ingested glucose. So when glucose levels in the gut increases, then the incretin is released. Next is DPP-4 resistance analogs. They are exenatides and liraglutides. That is DPP-4 is by which drug? That is metformin. So metformin when get interacted with alcohol, then they produce disulfiram-like reaction. So as well as when it is given with other drugs, it produces lactic acidosis. So it cannot be given in high doses. So next question could be, excess dose can cause B12 deficiency. So it is again metformin because it causes decreased absorption of B12. Next is oligosaccharide anti-hyperglycemic drug, that is agarbose, given just before the meals. The structure of this is oligosaccharide. Next is islet amyloid polypeptide. So it is amylin and category amylins. Urinary genital infections can be caused by this, as well as electrolyte imbalance and increase in the urinary frequency. So this can be only for this is dapagliflozin. So this dapagliflozin cause glucosuria. So because of this glucosuria increase, about a basic information about the anti-diabetic drugs, that is oral hypoglycemic drugs. So thank you for watching my video, and please like the video, comment on it. Thank you.